you said about you've mostly been an employee, and now you've created your own business, and obviously there's a statistic out there about entrepreneurs, neurodivergent entrepreneurs. It's about I think it's about 30% of entrepreneurs they suspect is neurodivergent. I've also been an employee for a long time, but there's always, I think with ADHD, there's often people have this sense of they've got a lot of potential, but
Mm,
a lot of self-limiting beliefs as well.
yeah,
So it can
100%.
feel quite, even though you have all these great ideas, feels quite daunting either saying them in the workplace, but also standing out there on your own. What
Mm.
advice would you give to somebody listening to this that is feeling like they've got so much more to give, but just hasn't, maybe they've got those self-limiting beliefs where they don't feel quite comfortable going out on their own, even though, they potentially could be successful with it.
I would say that it is, again, a modern day. There are so many resources. Take everything with a pinch of salt, though. There is a lot of misinformation out there. But you've got YouTube, you've got amazing podcasts just like this one, where people will talk honestly, who are couple of steps in front of you, who will talk rawly about their experiences, about the difficulties. Like, get in there, like, do the research, find people that you're a big fan of, find people that because I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine. I own that, and that's okay. And some people prefer different tone of voice, like different mindset. And again, that's absolutely so. Find your person online and just be a sponge and just soak up as much of that mindset as possible. I think you need to kind of embody who you want to be. So break it down. I love a list. So break it down, pen to paper. What does that person look like? How do they eat? How do they sleep? What do they wear? How do they talk? What goals do they have? How do they exercise? And create this kind of future personal persona of you, and even do a little stick man. Do you know what I mean? Like, get creative with it. And that is your vision board. Like, that is the person you want to become. And I'm very visual. So if I can visualize it, I can do it. And it's exactly the same for all of you listening. Like, if you can see it in your brain, you've already half achieved it because you can see it. You can see yourself doing it. You can see yourself doing the meetings. You can see yourself on stage. You can see yourself having those conversations that you can already do so naturally. But you are the person that is in your way. There is no one else, even though there might even be people that saying, "Oh no, you can't do it. It's a pipe dream." I've had it as well. Look where I am. The one person that is in your way is you. F everyone else. They don't matter. They'll catch up. Trust me, their minds will change. The conversations will go from "you can't do it" to "oh yeah, can I see you speak?" Trust me. So it's a mindset. The first step is I want to do this. And that's the first step. I want to do this. You just have to keep reminding yourself. I'm not going to sit here and be like other people and be like, "Oh yeah, it's just ABC." Absolute rubbish. Everyone's journey is different. So what could work for me might not work for you, and what works for you might not work for me. But how I started everything was just an accident, like I said, like got qualifications and just put it out there without even a second thought. I didn't think it'd get to the point where it is now. Like I didn't map that. But I put myself out there. I said, what do I want? This is what I want to do, and just roll with it. So I would say you can do it. You 100, if don't listen to anyone else, listen to me and John. You can do it. You can. But it's your journey is going to be different to mine and John's. And that's completely okay. It's not wrong. It's just your journey. And if you ever need more advice, contact me and John. We'll have a chat. It's
Simple
all
as
good.
that.
But you can do it. You can do it.
Absolutely, and it's very much when you're saying about it's yourself that is holding you back, and I had that for many years. I mean, I'm giving away my age, but I'm 33. Started this podcast at
I'm
32.
32. Hey,
Hey.
let it go.
um, and for a long time, I always knew that I wanted to do something for me, and I wasn't
Mm.
quite sure because, like you say, you have all these great ideas, and then it was only when I sat down for a couple of days and what do I literally, like you said about visualizing it, wrote down what am I passionate about? What do
Yeah,
I want to give to the world in this short space of time that we're here?
exactly.
And that is where it all started. As as often as ADHD do, we suffer, we can suffer with things like low self-esteem and confidence and things like that. And it was a battle that I've fought for a long time.
Yep.
And so the fear of making myself almost vulnerable, putting myself out there, that was present for a long time, and it took so
Yeah.
long to, and such a big effort to kind of overcome that. Now it quickly
On the other
feels
side.
natural, and it is. And there's something that, like, there's a quote that, I say quote, I'm sort of paraphrasing a little bit, but that's kind of stuck with me, is that the people that will say you can't do it are the ones that are jealous of you being able to put yourself out there because they can't. Something like that.
100%. Projecting. So you and I've had them, we've all had them where people are like, "You can't do this, you can't do that." Like, what are you thinking? And it's like, "Well, watch me.
Yeah.
I'll let you know how it goes," you know? So it's and a lot of this has just been me kind of blindfolding myself and just being like, "I'm just gonna take a little jump, see what happens." Because what's the worst that can happen, people? Like, what is the worst? Just give it a go. If anything, I always call it A/B testing. So I'll put something out there, I'll update a service, I'll talk a little bit differently to a client, I'll offer something extra. What is the worst that can happen? It either didn't go the way you wanted or it did, you know? But you won't know until you try it. It's very scary. It is scary where you kind of put yourself out there and it's like, oh my God, especially if you've never kind of done it before, like us,
Mm.
like where we've worked for other people and it's you have to mask and go into this mold that they need. So then having your own voice is like, oh my God, what am I doing? You just sometimes, honestly, you just have to blindfold yourself and jump. You really do. You just have to go for it, because if you don't go for it, someone else is going to go for it, and they're going to have that voice that you should have had. So if anything, don't think about anyone else, do it for you, because the confidence I've had since starting all of this, like, has been astronomical. Like, not even 2 years ago, there's no way I would have been able to sit here and talk to you. There's absolutely no way. I'd be sweating. I'd be like, "Nah, sod that." You're having a laugh. But look at me now, everything takes time, but that first step could be literally life-changing. So just do it. Like, if anyone listening, if you've thought about starting a project, an Etsy shop, a service, like learning a new skill, and you've been thinking about it for ages, and if you're thinking about something right now, that is the thing you should be doing right now. And the first step is saying in the mirror, "I can do it," and then put pen to paper and just get all your thoughts out. Instead of keeping it in your head, get it all out to paper. And that is the first step. And tell us how you get on.
And that is absolutely sound advice. And I kind of had a bit of a surreal moment there I had a bit of a flashback going back to that point when I
Oh,
first
good.
had those ideas and was putting it pen to paper. And now I'm, say, having a conversation with you that I've followed for so long and always admired. It's yeah, it was pretty surreal in that moment. Definitely is that jump is the biggest.
Huge.
I think that with ADHD as well, we don't like usually not knowing. And for me, that was the biggest
Yeah.
thing.
Not in
I
control.
want to do this thing, but I'll never know how it actually pans out unless I do it. So that was a big factor in me taking that leap and just seeing what you can do. Like you say, testing it, see
Yeah,
where you can get to. And
exactly.
I never expected that I'd be having the conversation with you, but I
Oh,
messaged you anyway because I knew that I'd want to have a conversation with you. It's scary, but just do it, and
just do
because
it.
you'll never know.
Yeah. I think one thing is really good to think about is think about your life right now, where you live, who you're with, what you're working on, your entire life. Now think about your life right now being the same in 5 years' time. Are you happy with that image, or will you regret it not starting today? If your gut instinct is, "Oh my God, get it done today." Just start today. Don't start next year, don't start next month. Just start today, pen to paper, say you can do it in the mirror. That's the first step.
Again, it's that time, isn't it? It's either the now or the never.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Make it now. Make it now.
And speaking of entrepreneurship and your journey, you obviously had a conversation with another fellow entrepreneur, Simon Squibb, author of What's Your Dream, and quite famous for
Good
asking
old
people what
Simon.
is their dream. Um, I'm really interested because I follow Simon as well and have done for a while.
Yeah. He's lovely.
One thing you mentioned, obviously he doesn't sugarcoat anything. Um,
No.
a couple of things that obviously I want to find out about how that conversation was for Tanya. What was it that he didn't sugarcoat, and what was your biggest takeaway from that conversation, and what surprised you the most?
Ooh. How much secrets should I share? Ooh. No, so I won't gatekeep. So, how that actual conversation came about was I did a lot of digging and research into his team. So, I kind of followed who they were and the production team and the assistants and kind of followed their work, kind of commented. So started that journey of communication without looking like a weirdo. And then kind of just reached out and said, I'm not going to name any names, but like, oh, I'm doing this. This is my service. This is credentials. This is the impact I'm having. Would Simon be interested in a conversation? And I think it was about 2 weeks, because Simon's very busy, and, Simon actually reached out. So, through his personal email, and he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay."
How was that in that moment
Well,
when
I thought it was a
you got
wind
that
I
email?
thought it was spam. I thought it was a trick, you know? And I was like, "Yeah, this isn't really Simon." And he was like, "Yeah, no, it is." And then I was like, "Okay." And then yeah, we went through his assistant and set it all up, met in London, had a coffee. We were disturbed a lot because people kind of picked up who he was. There was like a massive camera on the table. But no, it was good. It was really good. We've stayed in contact. I've stayed in contact with the assistant quite regularly. The one thing I can give advice is if you do ever meet Simon, just know he's approached a lot. He's asked a lot. He's asked to do things all the time. Be different. So the reason why we're still in communication is that he said I didn't want any money. I didn't want anything. I just wanted him to know the impact that we're doing. And I did say if we get bigger and become more investable, you become an investor. And he agreed. So now it's out there in the world. So one day when I get big, I have my first investor. So yeah. Play the game, be different, and he will notice you. But he does try to get back to as many people as possible. He is lovely, but I think everyone needs to remember he is one man, even though he has a team. He is one man, and when in doubt, create your own thing. Like what is your dream, and talk about it. Create a podcast. Get your voice out there. Do an Instagram video. You don't need Simon. But if you get on camera with him, it'd be really good. But you can start your dream without Simon Squibb. You can just get yourself out there and do a Instagram post, a video. I think Gary V actually said, if you're starting a service or an idea or something, grab your phone, go on WhatsApp, do a video and send to all and say, hi, I'm doing this. Would you be interested? If not, it's okay. And this is the impact and this is the goal. Your phone, your camera is your biggest asset. It's such your biggest asset. Obviously if you're on contract, you're paying for a bit, but it is free to do. It's so easy to do. You just pick it up. Our phones are with us all the time. And that's only what Simon's doing. He's just going around and asking people what is your dream to make them get on your dream. It's exactly what we just talked about. Looking in the mirror, saying, yes, I can do it, putting it pen to paper. That's all Simon's doing, is just getting it out of your brain so you can make the action. But yeah, no, he's lovely. He's a great guy. But yeah, he's going to whole new heights now since we spoke.
That's really interesting to hear, especially with somebody who's built and sold businesses, but he's now got
Mm,
this big, huge personal brand.
yeah.
And like you say, he is just one man, and he obviously gets approached a lot. And even though there is this whole team of people behind him, as you've found out, it's amazing how much that I suppose people kind of focus on Simon and not
Mm.
look to his team that are involved with him like you did. And yeah, that was certainly something different. It helped you stand out.
Yeah,
So,
just go about it different. Yeah, don't do what everyone else is doing. Like, if everyone's going that way, go the other way. Like, think differently and you'll be noticed a lot more. 100%.
and how has that conversation helped you on your journey since?
So It was because, again, he didn't give me anything because I didn't want anything. I just wanted the conversation to see if it was even if I'm on the right track, to be quite honest. So it was funny because a lot of the things he was saying I'd already either thought about or I was thinking about or I'd written it down. So it was more the fact that it was reassuring that I was doing the right thing and on the right trajectory. So it was a really nice conversation about like what I was doing and where I was going and what my thought processes were for the next steps and whether I'm gonna cock it up, excuse my French, or, am I going the right way to becoming a fully fledged business that has long-term effects? And he said, yeah. And then had his book in my bag because it'd be rude not to, obviously.
Of course.
And then I was like, "By the way, I've got your book." I had, like, so many sticky tabs, so he was quite happy to see that, which was nice. And then he wrote I've got the books downstairs, sadly, but he wrote a message saying, like, the younger Tanya would be, like, so proud of what you're doing, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's so nice." But yeah, so it was kinda like a conversation with a friend, really, who owned another business. Like, it was very casual, it was very nice. He gave me some little words of wisdom, which I won't share. I will keep them to myself. Um, sorry. But yeah, no, he was very lovely. Put me in the right mindset after the conversation. But yeah, no, I'm really happy he's on my side and keeping tabs.
That's amazing to hear, and it's really nice. One thing I really liked about that as well is that, your conversation with Simon wasn't Simon giving you ideas, but
Mm,
it was that feeling of knowing you're on the right track.
exactly.
I had a conversation with someone recently, and uh, it wasn't Simon Squibb or anything like that. It was a friend, and he's got a lot of experience. He's very smart. Has built 3 businesses, and I he asked what was going on with me in the podcast and things like that, and I told him, and usually he'd be like, "Have you thought of this, or have you thought of that?" When we've kind of pitched ideas before, in a sense, he just went, "It sounds like you've got it all figured out." I was like,
I love that. It's like, yay!
yeah, and it's amazing how, like, sometimes those are the most, like,
Yeah,
powerful conversations that can just is that reassurance that you're
yeah,
doing the right thing, not
yeah.
necessarily seeking that advice. So that's really, really insightful. Thanks.
Like 2 heads are better than 1. Like, it's bittersweet, like, I just yayed for no notes, but sometimes notes are also good, like, because like our brains, like, we can give a different perspective, and neurotypicals can give us a different perspective, you know? So it's amazing when someone can see what you're doing from outside that bubble, so to speak, and it's just like, "Oh, crap, I never even thought of doing that, like, thank you very much." Like, and it can be sometimes hard to talk to other people, and it's like, oh, I don't want any like issues or problems or someone telling me I'm doing something wrong or crap or anything like that. And
Yeah.
I don't know why we do that to ourselves, but like it never bloody happens. So we're just going through twice as much pain. But anyway, but I think actually talking to someone and be like, look, this is where I am, this is what I want to do, am I on the right track, am I missing anything, like do you have any insights? And that could be parents, that could be friends, that could be like fellow business people. By the way, like celebrities, they're just people, by the way. Do you know what I mean? Like just go approach them. I've pitched to stupidly big companies and we've had conversations. You don't know unless you just go for it. Do not be
Yeah.
scared of people that are in the limelight or really big companies because they started out as people that didn't have that fame, that people that didn't have Amazon was made in a garage, people, there are roots. So don't be scared of talking to people and approaching and pitching to big companies because they were once a small company and they know and understand where you are right now and they all want you to grow. So yeah, pitch, talk to them, write that email, write that letter, be creative, and yeah, just talk to people. Don't put yourselves in boxes because you can reach for the stars. Just have those conversations and be you. Don't pretend to be someone else to fit their narrative. Be you because that is your biggest selling point. Trust me.
especially with social media and things like that now, that we think we've got to be a certain way. And
Yeah,
like you said earlier about the conversation with Simon and how you approached it, is not doing what everyone else is doing, but doing your own
exactly.
thing and doing it your way. And I
Yeah.
think there's so much power in that. And with the likes of obviously increasing influencers and things like that, I think people tie into or have this idea that I've got to be doing what they're doing if I'm going to be
Mm,
successful. But it's it's often the ones that go against the grain that really stand out. And
exactly.
there's some inspiring stories of entrepreneurs out there as well. If anyone is looking to start their own thing, you mentioned about Amazon and how it started in a garage, and I think that one of the ones that's always stuck with me is about the Airbnb story and
Oh,
how that
yeah.
all started. And these people started exactly where we are right now, just
Yeah.
with an idea
They had an
and
idea.
then putting it into action. It didn't just suddenly become this whole fully formed thing overnight. And I think the biggest thing that I probably learned from this whole process actually of doing it and looking at other entrepreneurs' journeys like yours, it is the importance of delayed gratification as well and the persistence. And if you're doing something with a purpose, then the rewards that you kind of want and you think about your life in 5 years' time, what it may look like and how you want it to look, it's still a while away yet. So don't give up just because you're doing it for 1 month, you're doing it for 3 months, you're doing it for 6 months, and it's not blown up yet. It doesn't mean that it won't do and it won't become this thing. It's just
Exactly.
patience.
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't say it better than myself.
One thing we haven't talked about is your role as an ADHD champion.
Mhm. Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about how that even came about, first of all.
So, I am, an ADHD UK ambassador. Which is a massive charity here in the UK that specializes in ADHD and helps with webinars and training and basically just general guidance. So I was approached to be an ambassador for them. And then the parliament kind of said, look, we want to do this ADHD committee, but we want people that are already trained, that are ambassadors, that have that head on their shoulders, that can represent. And so that's how I got into the committee. I was an ambassador already with a few other ADHD UK ambassadors, and we form a committee for the parliament. So we're kind of like the middle people where we can, speak to the MPs and kind of let them hear our stories and what ADHD looks like and how it feels like. Because at the end of the day, Parliament, they're creating, the Autism Acts, the ADHD Acts, all these different things. And it's the classic creating policies without the people that they're actually for. So we bridge that gap. We talk to them about what it looks like and what it feels like and what they should be focusing on in these acts in Parliament. And then it's also about, visitors that are coming to Parliament as well, staff members that might be neurodivergent. So we go around different scopes of support. So yeah, we're the middle people and it's nuts. It's crazy. I'm extremely honoured to be a part of it all. But yeah, Parliament's scary. Wow.
Yeah, certainly. And I think like people that aren't involved as well, I think we all know that there needs to be some changes and things put into whether that's more funding into early diagnosis and support as well. It's really interesting. So I had this kind of view that it's not a big topic or it's not really even discussed in Parliament. So it was really interesting and really eye opening to see that announcement. There's a couple of people in that group that I know already, like Himmel, and he's been on the show before, and so it's really eye opening to see that they are hearing from people who live with it. Because I think until you speak to somebody that lives with it, you can't really ever get a full grasp of it. And
No,
there was one
exactly.
conversation I listened to yesterday. It was an MP, I think her name's Sarah Hill. So she was stood up yesterday, and sorry, I'm not completely up on my politics. I think she declared a notion or something like that.
I think I saw it too, actually.
But she stood up in front of other MPs and told her experience of living as someone who's neurodivergent and with
Mhm.
ADHD, and the how it impacts the workplace, and how if reasonable adjustments aren't made, then people can be quickly out of jobs and things like that. And give a few examples of constituents that she'd been contacted by. What was the most eye-opening thing that you've kind of found during this? And were you surprised at all by maybe the understanding of MPs already, or was that something that you kind of helped get that message across?
I can only say so much. I was surprised at how open-minded people were. There are conversations happening. What I will say is that in the UK there's and I was shocked the times that I have been in Parliament where so much has been spoken about. And there's a lot of things that are being spoken about that the UK population do not know is even a thing. So not only are Parliament talking about things that we don't know, uh, they're kind of it's all structured, so it's kind of like things that are happening right now, things that are coming into fruition, things that might happen in the future. So the Parliament isn't just sorting things out that we're seeing in the media. They're figuring out things for future and near future and things that are about to come in. So it's a lot. But what I will say is that they are open-minded. They do understand there's neurodivergence in Parliament right now. Conversations are being had. We're not in a place where we're being ignored. This committee has been invited to Parliament for a reason to be set up. It was their idea. There's also an autism committee as well, Autism UK Parliament committee. What I can say is that Autism Act was going through Parliament about a few months ago. The autism committee were sitting in the stands just looking. The MPs were told that the committee was there. They then took out the time that afternoon to have 3 hours with the committee to talk about autism and everything that it looks like. And then they went back in to further discuss the Autism Act and made changes there and then based on the conversations that they had. So just because we don't see what is happening in the media, and remember, the media chooses what they want us to see, remember. So we don't always get told the truth. So the conversations are happening. What is being discussed is very differently to what we're seeing in the media right now, sadly. But yeah, there are conversations. Yeah, good ones.
And that's good to hear, and it's good to hear that someone like you is in a position where you're helping shape that going forward as well.
100%. Yeah, they can't shut me up. Oh, I have our say about ADHD, trust me. I'll
Yeah,
work
and
it
I
well.
imagine
So it was, pretty much a whole day. So the committees has whole days in Parliament where we go in and out and talk to each other, do focus groups, and then talk to MPs, but there's only so much I can say, and I
yeah,
don't
of
want to
course.
get in trouble. But yes, good
No.
conversations are happening, people. We are not being ignored. Things are moving quickly in Parliament. So yeah, be hearing some stuff soon. That's all I can say. But
It's
yeah,
exciting stuff. Cool, and I appreciate you do have to see gatekeep on that one, but no, it's great to hear that they've actually got people with lived experiences that are
yeah,
involved in those conversations. So
and
it kind of fills me with a little bit of hope that the change is just around the corner, hopefully. And in terms of change, obviously, with whether that's support for individuals or businesses or kind of in Parliament, what is one thing, or what do you think is the biggest way that we can impact change in today's world?
I mean, the easy free one is be kind, you know? I mean, that's gonna be part of my legacy. I think it's the classic, people might not remember what you said to them, what you sold as a service, as a business, what your product was, but they will always remember how you made them feel. So I'd say kindness, just if you're be curious, you know, be inquisitive, you know, ask what does ADHD feel like? What does it look like? What do you need? Like, and it's just, and that's free, and kindness is free. And I feel like we forget that a lot. And I know the UK right now is just, it's not that great a place right now for a lot of us, especially, you know, like what's happening in the economy and everything and, you know, politics. But I'd say just be curious, ask. There's a lot of miscommunication out there. There's a lot of stigma. Please take everything with just a pinch of salt. You know, look for people, public speakers, creators who are having those really raw conversations, who are saying ADHD can be shit. You know, excuse my French, everyone, but it can also be freaking amazing. Like, it's such a gift to have. There are more pros than cons. And it's the classic, when it's good, it's absolutely amazing. When it's crap, it's freaking horrendous. But that's just humans, everyone's got different brains and different abilities, like I've been saying, and it's the classic treat people how you want to be treated. But it's just life is too short. You could be gone tomorrow. None of us know when that last day is. So hug your friends a little tighter. If you haven't heard from that friend for a while, text them because they might be going through something, especially your male friends. Please text your male friends because they have been conditioned to not talk, to not cry. And it's like, oh my God, what is happening? Like, if a man was crying in front of me, I'd think them more of a man because they're showing their emotions and their feelings and they're saying, I need help. I don't know where this whole notion of men being the strong one and carrying everyone is absolute BS. Like, we're in the modern day, everyone is there for each other. So talk, text that friend who's been a bit quiet, text them if they want to drink. If not, do they want to come over, watch a film and not even speak, just be there. But yeah, be kind, ask questions, be curious, and they're all free. So, and I love a freebie.
Definitely. Yeah. You've given so much insight today into how people can learn to work with their brain, and how you've learned to work with yours as well.
Yeah.
And everything that you're doing to support individuals as human beings, treating the people as human beings is absolutely vital. With social media, emails, and everything like that nowadays, it's very easy to lose touch of that, that it is a
100%.
person on the other side of that.
Yeah.
So that I think that's such a powerful message to relay. One last question for you before we end, because I appreciate that I've
Oh,
taken a lot of your time this
pleasure.
morning.
It's been amazing.
Thank you. What would be, if you could go back and visit young Tanya, what is one message you would leave her?
Oh. Oh, there's so much I wanna say to her. Fix your fashion sense for starters. But, I would probably, if I wasn't able to say much, I'd probably say, "Don't lose yourself." Like, just stay this Tanya, like, be true, like, you find your people in the end, you find your tribe, and some people are meant to be books, and some people are meant to just be chapters in your life. So, yeah, stay true to you and books and chapters, I would say.
Amazing. I think that's a perfect note to end on. Thank you so much, Tanya
Yeah,
Gerard.
of course.
If people want to reach out to you, and have a conversation with you, and maybe even a coffee,
I
where
love
would they
coffee.
reach out to you?
LinkedIn and website is probably where I'm there the most. The website is www.taniagerard.co.uk. I've got one of those names, Tania Gerard, and LinkedIn with just my name. So yeah,
Thank you so much.
thank you. Been an honour.